Hi, I'm Andrew, and I'm going to briefly show you how to use a 1963 Polaroid Automatic Land Camera. So, first things first, how to open it. Lift up on the top, it's a flexible plastic cover. Now if you want, you can leave it there and take it with you, because what this is meant for is it's a place to hold your instruction manual if yours still has it. What I like to do is take it off because it gets in the way sometimes. So this tab right here, pull it back while lifting up on the cover and it pops right off. Now the front of the camera folds out because it has bellows. So you flip up the viewfinder and it's magnetic, so it'll snap right into place. Then you lift up on this tab right here and pull out the front gently, because some of these old cameras, the bellows are pretty fragile. It will snap into place once it's all the way out. Just make sure that it's there. So now the camera is opened up. One thing about these for operation is the battery no longer exists. This Polaroid takes a 4.5 volt battery, and I looked all over the place. You can't find them anymore, basically. So what I had to do, and there are other YouTube videos specifically about this, is you can go to Radio Shack and buy this adapter which holds 3 AAA batteries, which is the equivalent of 4.5 volts. The only thing you have to do is, since you're only using 3, you have to solder the 4th wire spring up to the top to complete the circuit. But this is a lot better because now you can actually use the camera and you don't have to go searching for batteries, which would probably be very expensive if you would actually find a 4.5 volt, if they even still make them, I'm not sure. So you load the batteries in. So that's ready. Now when taking a picture, there are a few options to consider. The main one being how bright it is, of course. On the front of the camera, there's settings for black and white and for color film. I'm using black and white today, so I go by this. I'm taking it outdoors, but it's a rainy day. So I can still have it on the outdoors setting, but you may have to pay attention to the other lighting adjustment, which is this dial. If you were to readjust this top, there's a blue knob right on the bottom, and by pushing it from left to right, you can switch between the top or the bottom option. So we're keeping it on black and white, outdoors or flash, and then you have to look at this. This is a lighting or darken dial. Now the film that I'm using is Fujifilm FP100B, which is specifically made instant film for this style of camera. It's 100 speed, but this camera, the closest thing it has is 75, which will work. And usually the prints tend to be a little darker, so in normal shooting I have the dial turned 2 notches to the lighten side. On a day like today, and in the photo that we're going to take, I might make it a little darker or a little lighter. You can fool around with it and do whatever you want. This right here is an electric eye, which takes in how much light from the surrounding area, and it measures that. It regulates the shutter speed. And if you were wondering, I just put stringer on the strap because it might break. It's very old dry leather, so you wouldn't want to go carrying the camera around by its original strap. So we're going to take this outside and I'm going to show you how to take the picture. Okay, so we're outside now. We're about to take the picture with the camera. This is our scene. right, well, this chair right here is in the way, but that chair back there, and there's a wine glass right about there. So I'm going to shoot it from here, and it's a little stormy outside, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the camera to the middle setting. Now for this type of film that would make it darker, but I'd like to do that anyway for just the effect of the image in the end. So, we're going to see how it goes. So the camera, this button right here, press it down. That's cocked and ready to go now. This camera has a focus lens right there. This is a combination of images in these two areas right here reflected via a mirror into this one hole, so that when you push these two bars back and forth, it adjusts the size of the bellows and focuses the image. When you look in that hole, you see two blurry images. When you get them to line up, you're in focus. There was the picture. Now we're going to take it inside and develop it. Alright, we're inside. We're going to develop the photo right now. The thing you need to take into account now is the temperature of where you're developing it. So your box of film looks like this, and on the back there's instructions that say how many seconds you should let the film develop for outside of the camera, depending on the temperature in the room. Well, it's in Celsius, and America has to do things differently, so you're going to have to go online or find out the formula to convert it into Fahrenheit. Or just get a Celsius thermometer, whichever you please. So in this case, the room temperature is 74 degrees. There are a few ratings here. For 68 degrees, it's 40 seconds developing time. For 75 degrees to 95 degrees, it's 30 seconds developing time. So I'm going to say then, you could just roughly estimate that we'd probably be developing somewhere around close to 40 seconds. So, that's what we're going to do. This white tab is not your picture, but it allows your picture to come forward, because if the picture were at the edge, you wouldn't be able to keep it dark inside the camera. So, in order to develop the picture, you first pull this white tab straight out. And now you see this. This is your picture. As soon as you take that out of the camera, it starts developing, so we've got to start counting. What I like to do when I can is have scissors ready, because you're going to have to tear the positive away from the negative, and they're glued together at the top. So here we go. We're reaching for about 40 seconds. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 29, 1,000, 30, 1,000, 31, 1,000, 32, 1,000, 33, 1,000, 34, 1,000, 35, 1,000, 6, 1,000, 37, 1,000, 38, 1,000, 39, 1,000, 40, 1,000. Here's your negative. There's the positive. Now all you got to do is find the corner, peel the scraps away, and now you have a picture. I'm pretty pleased with the results. Now you just gotta let that sit there and dry. And contrary to the old belief that you have to shake a Polaroid photo in order to make it dry, it doesn't make any difference since it's all chemical reaction anyway. Just whatever you do, don't get that stuff in your eyes or anything because it's really nasty. Some people hang on to their negatives. If you use 3000 speed film, which is what is meant for the camera does have a 3000 speed. I don't like it since it's a little darker. You will be able to see your negative, and if it's still wet, I heard you can actually roll it onto photo paper, but I've not tried it myself. So, that's that. Now you know.